crazy. Yeah.
Did you grow up a Patriots fan?
I did not. I actually just grew up liking the individual players. Usually, what I've seen is that, you know, if it's in your family, then it kind of trickles down. My father, he just likes players as well. So I just had favorite players. My brother actually liked the Steelers. Yeah.
Has there been any animosity? Anybody joking with you, that sort of thing, from New England or from Rhode Island?
Everybody. Yes, everybody. I talked to Coach Quigley before the game, and he kept reminding me, he's like, good luck, but go Patriots. I'm like, why you call me coach?
What was it like in the immediate after that? Once the game ended, the confetti's coming down and stuff, what's that been?
It's almost like, you know, it's crazy because I talked to my dad the whole week. And I was telling him that it's funny because we watched, you know, we watched the game every year since I was young, and you know, you see all the excitement, all the football, everything that's going on in the body, and you're like, oh, it'll be cool. And then once I got to the NFL, you're playing for it every year. But then once you get there, it's, you know, it's fantasy, man. You don't really believe it, but when the ball hit the ground at the end, clock is 0 and the page came down, it was like, this is crazy. This is really happening. It's so hard.
When you get that first championship, you had close calls to Hendricken, BC, you finally get that, call yourself the champion, the world champion. Where's that one?
It's definitely, you know, you hear that cliche, hard work pays off, but man, it's true. Those simple sayings, those simple cliche sayings are so true. It's just the obstacles I went through, you know, to not give up, keep fighting, to keep doing everything I had to do to get to that point. And then when I just got to the point where I was like, you know what, I can only control one thing, and that's just taking care of my body and just having faith, and things will happen.
You know, what helped you is going through all the rehab and everything, you know, just staying true to, you know, I do want to get back there, and I'm going to the time that I have to do it to have a moment like that.
You're saying what helped me?
Just having faith to persevere, to rehab and everything, to get back on the field, to have a moment like you had last Sunday.
The question was what helped me?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, I've been really fortunate to have a solid home. Like my wife and my son, I come home and I just completely forget about everything that's going on. And I get to live in the moment and be a father, be a husband. I think that's the main thing that keeps me sane. Because right, I'll be rehabbing, I'll get frustrated. I go to the gym, I'll be frustrated. But when I go home, I have that break where I'll be frustrated working out, but I'm not frustrated at home. I'm comfortable. It gives me a break where I can actually realize what's important and what's at stake.
You mentioned your family, having your father and your wife and your child there on the field with you after that game. What does that mean for you? Obviously, you want to celebrate with your teammates, but those are the people that are close to you.
Yeah, after the game, I saw Dion Grant, our 14-year veteran. And I went up to him because he's been out for 14 years and he hasn't won one. So I was just so happy to get him a ring. But immediately, I did about 6 laps around the stadium trying to find everybody. And then it's funny because I saw my dad come off the tunnel and he was raising his hands up. And I was kind of upset for a second. I go, did he just leave my wife amongst all those people? And I saw him excited, so I ran over and hugged him, but I found out she came later. But to have them come on the field, and it's what you dream of. I'm like, I can't wait to, I always tell myself, I want to win the Super Bowl, I want to hold my son and see the trophy. I want to celebrate with my dad, with my wife. You say those things, and for it to actually happen, it's unreal.
Were you on that Packer team that lost to the Giants? In 07. Talk about obviously having that moment, just contrasting to the game with the Giants and going through what you did. Like you guys had a season where you joined them late. You guys were 8-8 or something. Right. You guys went on a run that unprecedented. It just seems like in this NFL, it doesn't matter who the best team is. All the time, who's playing the best ball at that particular moment.
Well, I figured after the San Fran game that I was going to write a book called Both Sides of the Spectrum, where I was on the losing end of the Lawrence Times kid, and then I happened to be on the winning end. So, I mean, it's true. You can't be going on that.
Right. Does everything just make it sweeter in general because of the journey to get back into football? When you hurt yourself, coming back later, joining the Giants, and was it an amazing journey?
It's definitely gratifying because you appreciate it so much. You know, all the, you may see heartaches and pains, but I went through. So I actually got to the point where I just hit rock bottom, where I remember during the season, teams weren't calling me. You know, I was waiting to hear back from the Giants. They didn't call. Nobody was calling. And then I had a fever of like 104. I had serious strep throat. You know, I told my family to leave the house because I was that bad. Because I was that depressed. Like, I was rock bottom. I stayed in my room for like 3 days. I was done. I was ready to look for a job and do something else. And a couple of weeks later, I remember going to bed with my wife, and we didn't talk about football. I think we were watching like Real Housewives of Orange County. We were doing that and just having ice cream. And we were just hanging out. And I didn't think about football. I didn't think about anything. And I just felt real comfortable when I went to sleep. And then the next morning, the phone rang. It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I go, this is an unusual phone call. I said, because nobody in California will call us early. I said, this person must be on the East Coast. And so she wasn't answering the phone. She was letting it ring. So I flipped over the bed and jumped up and grabbed it. And it was my agent. He was like, you're going to New York. And that's when I was just trying to get a couple games in the season, let alone win the Super Bowl. I was just trying to play and get my name back out there on the radar. And we just got in it.
Guys, we'll do one more like this, and then we'll break Will out for some one-on-ones.
What did it mean for you to come back the other day? Obviously, you know, you're on it's like the rubber chicken circuit almost, the banquets and everything, but what did it mean for you specifically to come here today?
It's always the number one thing on my list, man. Every time I achieve something, I want to come back and share it with everybody here. So that's why I didn't really give a speech. I come back here all the time when I can. I make it a point to just because I appreciate her so much because I was able to find myself and my identity in the school. Not so much what I want to be, but who I am and how I can develop as an individual, as a man, and present myself to the world and have to. I would.
Now, obviously, with everything that you've been through, to get back to the Super Bowl one more time must have been absolutely great, and there's certainly a lot of pressure. It's the biggest game in football. But on the field and in the locker room, how much differently do you approach that compared to any other game?
You try to approach it like a real game. You try to. But what makes, I think what's the difference there is no tomorrow. So I remember Steve Weatherford up front, he punted the ball inside the 5-yard line, and I ended up losing it in the lights, and I tried to save it and went in the end zone. You know, okay, during the regular season, it's like, all right, make that play. That day, I have to make that play. We can't get that play back. So just playing that, there were no more games. There's nothing else. And also the situations. I remember the last punt, I was talking to Bob Ryan, I think he's from the Gulf, right?
Yeah,
Bob Ryan. And he had a long interview with me during media day about dropping punts. I'm like, Bob, for real? Like, you're gonna put that in my head right now? He's like, I just want to talk about the guy. You know, he talks so fast. I'm talking about the guy Kyle Williams. So he talked to Julian Edelman about Kyle Williams, talked to me about Kyle Williams, about dropping the punt, getting like hit in the face, all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think that was the last interview I did before the game. So
Stuck in your head?
oh, it's there. You know, you're trying to get rid of it, you know, but it's there. And I remember the last punt, and I was like, okay, just get the ball for Eli and let him drive on the field. So the ball was in the air for honestly about 10 minutes. I'm sitting there just like, calm down, please. Like, my heart is pounding. I'm like, just catch the ball. Because if you don't, you can't go back to New York.
Right.
So I'm like, catch the ball. I caught it, and I just held on to it. I think it was third round. Remember? And he was barking at me to drop it, and I caught it, just held on to it, and to be honest, I believe in you. Just a little less than victory.
All right.